My name is Luis David Perales. I'm from Maywood, California. I'm an actor slash social media influencer and as well as a boxer. My family starts off with my mom. She's from Jalisco, Mexico. She had me when I was about, I'd say, 17 or so. I grew up pretty fast, but I grew up without a dad as well. And until around the age of 7 or 8, that's when I had a stepdad. He's from Morelia, Michoacan. In elementary school, I was always serious, but I was always an enjoyable kid playing. Once I got into a fight in elementary school, that's when it started more the fighting. And there was just one time with the bully that happened where we all got in the field and they just kind of all got together. And I didn't really know what to do because I was just in the middle as a kid. My hand just kind of flew at him and it kind of just got a big mess. And when I got home, I kind of looked at myself differently because I never got into a fight or anything into that because I wasn't really that type of a person or kid. Once I got to middle school, that's when I saw kind of things changing and I started keeping things more to myself and staying quiet instead of kind of being loud and everything. It did definitely keep me away just because I think I saw the attention it kind of brought. It was just a bad type of attention, and I guess it kind of brought more people to start picking on me or knowing that I would fight, so they would kind of try to start something to make me kind of not explode but do something. My middle school years was the least best just because that's when things started changing. It was kind of both bad grades, and then I was in honors, and it was kind of went from that to being dropped down to the normal classes, and seeing that kind of was making me see more changes and then just bringing it a little more down. I was just walking myself and kind of too scared to talk to people and be more open and what they would think of me. Or when I started boxing was around middle school because my friend knew about it and he was already in the gym that I was going to, and he would kind of teach me and tell me stuff, and I would just started watching and practicing, watching videos of Canelo and also one of my favorite, Ryan Garcia. The feeling of kind of everyone just looking at you, it made me feel really good, and that's when I started looking into it, and that was my type of way of letting all any pain out or anything. So once I realized after training, I felt really released and good. I was oh, it's this is different. I think the type of pain that it would cure kind of was just everything I would hold in from middle school and kind of being alone and that feeling. So I would just hold everything in, and once I just was training and everything out, it kind of just felt good and released. And so it was a good thing to know that it was helping, so I wouldn't hurt or anything myself. But I think it was a bad thing because the days I couldn't train, or since I wasn't really in the gym and I couldn't punch or do anything, I just hold everything in until I was just able to do something. For coping, everything revolved around boxing. So I'd say it was probably just watching either any boxing fights I could watch or going on YouTube watching training, how everyone was. And we didn't really have the money like that to pay to watch those extra pay-per-view fights and everything. So I would just wait till on YouTube they would either post them or any highlights and just kind of do my homework, you could say, in a way. And just watching them fight and how they would move and my favorite fighter would win, that would kind of bring me up a little bit, help me out, and just make me just imagine that I could be there one day. So it would kind of push me to be there. Once I started going into the gym in freshman year, and finally just having that feeling of going to a real gym and seeing everyone training and how I would kind of visualize and watching on YouTube it was a really good feeling, and just the smell of the sweat, I guess, and seeing everyone hard working, it motivated me a lot. So once I joined that gym, it kind of you could say brought me back up to like the person I was, because I was finally doing something I liked, and at the same time kind of coping with everything I was like dealing with. So it was kind of exciting knowing that I had like a home to like be there with everyone. And once I started from there, it was kind of the same thing where I would have to like keep my grades up in order to kind of start boxing and going to the gym, because it was like a monthly play. And kind of the downside of it was my mom kind of, she was supportive of it, but she didn't really like the fighting part and seeing her son kind of get hit. And my dad was always kind of like working to make sure that we had like food on our plate and everything, and make sure. So every time I was like training, I would like train alone and have like sparrings, and seeing everyone just have their, I guess, their dad kind of training with them, or seeing their parents like on the sides, was kind of, you could say, like it hit hard, because I kind of wanted to like have that feeling of having like your parents kind of there and made them like proud and all that. So it was kind of like a downside, but it kind of pushed me more to keep training, because I knew like maybe one day I could show them that it would be like worth them like coming or showing them, and I could make like, I was actually like serious about it. Because kind of when I started, they didn't really know boxing, because in my family no one really does like fighting or anything. So I was like the first person, and it kind of, them seeing them like me do it myself, they kind of didn't really, they thought it was just like for fun, but I was kind of like really serious about it. So I had to really push and train every day for them to see that I was really like sure about it. My dreams for the future would definitely be, as of now, I think I would love to act for sure. I love acting. Right now I'm doing a lot of like social media, like I'm doing TikTok, those like Instagram reels. I would just really like to make a name out of myself, to kind of prove to myself when I was like smaller that I could always achieve dreams. Because I've heard of quote like by Denzel Washington that dreams without goals are just dreams. So looking back at that, kind of knowing that I had goals when I was smaller, I just want to make sure that I make my smaller self like really proud.